dog, 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 dog.
Dog, 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 dog,
Hello, everyone. Welcome
dog.
back. Dog. Dog,
Dog.
dog, dog.
Dog, 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 dog.
Yeah.
Yes, go back into it, yes. Dog.
Yeah, I guess so. Dog, 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 dog.
Dog, dog, dog. Yeah, keep your stance straight, princess.
Urian gives me the warning, but too late on purpose. I can see the smile on her face as she effortlessly slides past my defences and taps me on the shoulder with her wooden sword.
I got you.
Again. For the last few days, I've been practicing with Urian and Garland because Claude still hasn't come out of his room like the whiny baby he is. The knights
Dog, dog.
offered to train me, and right now they are teaching me about ways to hold a sword. This is slow, but Claude did tell me I wouldn't be able to master the sword so quickly. Claude. He made me so angry that one day, and I could not even properly give him my gift. And yet I feel sad that he's not here teaching me himself.
Come on, princess. Focus.
I jolt out of my reverie and nod at Urian. Okay. I ready myself for her next strike and once again get tapped, this time on the hip. Garland takes over after Urian, and then we do rounds where I try to hit them with certain strikes. They are both good at teaching, but it does not feel the same as Claude's instruction. His lessons seem less like they were out of a book. Don't worry, Princess, it's always slow. I can't do it. It's annoying me now. It always starts out slow.
Yeah, that was just a slight training, but look at him now. Four.
Garland whips his head around in Urian's direction, his face turning deep red. Urian, that nickname!
But you're so much fun to tease, lad.
She beams at him and then laughs at his embarrassed face. Our practice goes on for a few more minutes before the knights tell me to wrap it up for the night. I think I'm going to stay out here for a little bit.
Yeah, princess, you know it's dangerous here at night.
If I don't return in 10 minutes, you can come back and check on me. Urian seems unconvinced, but she eventually nods.
Fine, get your guard up, princess. Yeah.
I watch the two knights as they head back. I see Garland put his arm around Urian's waist, pulling her closer. Turn away from the sight, ignoring the heavy feeling in my stomach. I'll just practice the swings for 5 more minutes. The only thing I hear in the clearing is while practices my shallow breathing and the wind in my ears. Something breaks my concentration, however, and I instantly stop, my hands growing tense on the wooden sword. What was that?
Caca!
Caca, caca, caca. I glance around my...
Dog, 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 dog.
And then I freeze when I feel a hand on my shoulder. I
Dog.
can feel someone's breath on my neck. Feels familiar.
Dog, dog, dog,
Is
dog,
this
dog.
Claude? No, turn your point sword at him. It's what Claude would want. I'm pretty sure I recognise Claude's hand, but I know it's him. I also know what he'd want me to do. I duck away from his hand and quickly turn to point my sword. The tip of the wood is at his neck, and for a few stunned moments I think I've won. Even Claude looks surprised.
Dog!
It's really him.
Dog.
But then Claude's hands have moved and he has one hand over my wrist and the other on my sword.
Dog, 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 dog. Dog, 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 dog. Dog. Good, Henry Punk. You realized you had an opening, which broke your concentration.
Claude. Claude removes his hands, allowing me to lower my sword.
I'm sorry, Henry Punk.
I feel my breath catch in my throat. When Claude holds out the rose pendant I got for him, I feel my cheeks flush. Yep, that's a rose.
Yep, that's what a rose looks like. You accidentally left this beautiful thing in my room when I angry emoed at you. Well, I came to return it.
Return it.
Yes, you left it in my room, and I only thought it appropriate to bring it back to you.
Does he really think I left it there on accident?
But if he doesn't know it opens, then he has no way of reading the note.
That's true. Why would I leave it in your room on accident?
What?
I brought it for you. I wanted to give it to you, but you were acting so strangely, and, Claude's eyes widen, the surprise clear on his face.
Henry Punk, you brought this for me.
Why does he look so shocked? Claude looks at me in awe for a few moments, then his eyes go back, down to the locket. He traces his finger around the intricate shape, his eyebrows slowly furrowing. It's to thank you for everything you've done for me. Dog, 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 dog.
Henry Punk, Dog, 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 dog. This is beautiful, dog.
He lets the chain fall through his fingers as he stares at the rose pendant with adoration. I feel my heartbeat stutter as he turns to regard me with the same gentle smile.
Dog.
He leans forward and my breathing stops as he reaches out to hold up my glass slipper necklace. He's standing so close to me.
Is he going to fade in or something? No, okay. Well, you are a good person, Henry Ponk. You completed your second good deed. I think that some kind of congratulations is in order. Is there anything you want that I could give you? Penis.
A good hard dicking. I look up at him and notice that Claude's smile doesn't reach his eyes.
That's good, because that's not how our faces work normally.
He still looks so sad. I feel like there's so much that I want from Claude, but I do not want to ask something that might make him sad. Don't ask him for a smile then, because that pisses me off when people say, you should smile, love, it might never happen. Fuck you. I want a hug. Hug.
Dog, 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 dog.
Dog, 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 dog.
Huh?
Claude looks at me in surprise. Thinks I'm being foolish for making such a request, doesn't he? I shouldn't have said anything. But before I can say anything else, Claude takes a step forward and wraps me in his arms. Ooh?
Like cling film.
Yes. He pulls me towards him, and those moments of silence, all I can hear is his heartbeat resounding in his chest. I can feel his warmth all around me and his fingers clasped gently at my back. I feel so strange. My heart is racing and my knees feel weak. Mom's spaghetti, etc., etc.
Just got one shot. Something like this.
He speaks right into my ear. It is surprisingly pleasant feeling. And suddenly Claude makes a noise of distress as he steps away from me.
Dog!
All of the warmness that was pressed up against me 1 moment ago is gone. What?
Dog.
Dog. What? Oh, he's about to dog, is he? Oh, is it when he feels like, like love and affection, he turns into a dog or something? Maybe.
Possibly.
Karma suddenly stops, eyes wide. He puts his hand on his chest and takes a step away from me, his fingers clutching at the fabric of his shirt. Claude has a prolonged expression on his face, only making me more anxious.
Ow!
Ow!
Ow! No! Dog!
Claude, are you okay? What's wrong?
Henry Ponk, don't worry about it. Dog.
He lowers his hand with the pain smiles fading slowly from his face. This does little to reassure me. Was it my fault you were locked up in your room for so long? He just looks so pained to be anywhere near me.
No, most definitely not. I was feeling under the weather, dog. And also bitter.
Bitter? Why would you feel bitter?
It's not for you to worry about, darling, dog. And now we should head back. It's late and you need a rest. I just got back from patrol, so I would like to rest as well, dog. Dog, 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 dog.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, sweet Henry Ponk. You've already done enough for me.
He clutches the rose locket to his chest and sighs out with a little gentle smile. This smile feels real to me.
This is a beautiful gift. I'll treasure it always. Thank you, Henry Ponk. Now, shall we head back? Gets down on all fours and runs off.
I nod at him and we silently walk back to the Martian.
So I'm guessing the reason why he lifted up the necklace that she did is, did you notice they looked kind of similar in design? Admittedly, that could have just been because the same artist drew them.
Yes, I did. But we make it back to the tavern. I feel tired, but also
like. Say made it back to bacon.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't mean to, but if
I
said
back
that,
and eat bacon, then go to bed.
It's not a bad plan, actually.
Really. There's worse things. Got a lot less. Oh, got bacon in the fridge.
I feel tired, but also lighter than I have for weeks. Claude wishes me good night before slowly walking off to his room, holding the rose locket I gave him so tightly.
Dog.
Today, I'm walking around town to do some errands with Claude. It's been quite a while since we've done this. Though we're here to run errands, there's something else that drew me into town today. Yesterday, Waltz came back to the Martian and told of the announcement the king was making today. Uh-oh. Apparently, the announcement has been posted for at least a week's time, but Waltz had only caught on to it after hearing about it from the cows after one of his puppet shows. I'm not sure what this announcement entails, but I feel that I need to see the king make it with my own eyes. I can see more people milling about than usual, which means most of them must be waiting for the king to speak. I have a bad feeling about this.
Oh, wait, Obi-Wan.
It's not strange for the king. It is not strange for the king to make announcements, but this feels so sudden.
It wasn't. You were given a week's notice. It's just no one paid attention.
And with everything else that's happened to me, I feel on edge.
Wow, Henry Punk. You made those bags sound a lot lighter than they'd actually be.
Oh, stop complaining, Miss Karma. You get valuable experience out of carrying bags. Seeing Claude complain is amusing, especially since I know he can handle the load.
Giggity. I feel like a servant. Don't.
What does that make me when you made me carry all those bags before,
An assistant?
I roll my eyes at him. We're both working at the Martian, you know. And then the thought strikes me. What do we even do at the Martian, aside from go on patrol and train people? Every day, for hours on end. Claude looks surprised at my question, but then he smiles quickly at me.
I train the knights, of course. I also attract customers with my beautiful reputation, Sparkle.
I start laughing, and Claude's face flushes.
Flace.
Flace.
Dog. Darling, I get the feeling you're laughing at me, by the way you're pointing at me and laughing.
I wonder. We finish up the rest of our errands and sit down at the town to have a plaza to rest. Claude briefly leaves briefly and then returns with a slice of cake for us both to share as a snack.
Nom.
Cake. I have lots of things I want to ask him, and now feels like the right time to do so. May I ask you a question?
Of course, darling, anything.
Do you enjoy dressing like a woman?
I don't mind it, really. I appreciate the beauty in anything. You girls get to wear quite an assortment of lovely dresses and makeup. It's quite beautiful. I feel more comfortable in my own clothes, but I don't mind dresses.
I guess if you've had to wear a dress for so long, you get used to it. I have another question.
And what would that be?
When I was in your room the other day, you spoke about a woman. Were you talking about the witch who cursed you?
Oh no, the woman I was talking about.
He suddenly goes silent and lowers his head. His expression fades into something more melancholy, and I feel my heart lurch. Maybe I shouldn't have brought this up. To my surprise, Claude continues talking.
Shortly after I came to Anglais, there was a woman that I met whose smile was as radiant as sunshine. She was beautiful, and when she laughed, everything felt right about the world.
Hearing him talk about her makes me uncomfortable. Am I, jealous? I decide that yes. Yes, I am.
Yes.
Claude watches me quietly as if he's measuring my expression. Eventually he goes back to speaking.
I knew her, biblically, for many months. Time passed, and I thought we were truly in love, and then
He goes silent for a few moments, his eyes distant, his expression painted, turned into a dog.
Oh, maybe just love turns off.
Maybe.
No. Well, some things happened, and I realised she only loved me because of my curse.
Is it because you turned into a dog?
She was drawn to me, just as any other woman is.
And when you were a dog, she didn't love you no more.
Oh, she still did, it just got really creepy. You seem so genuine in comparison to the other women, but in the end...
Claude trails off and lets out an exasperated sigh. You were truly in love with her?
I was. I've dated many women, but I've never fallen in love with someone who honestly loved me back.
So then the last person you loved was that one woman? Claude looks at me, and for a few moments he does not speak.
Henry Punk, do you mind if I ask you a question?
No, I don't mind.
Have you ever loved anyone?
My mother, of course.
You? All right. I was referring to a romantic kind of love.
A romantic kind of love. What does that kind of love feel like?
I should ask, what is her name, Darla, or the witch, stuff. Ask her what she did with her dolls in private. Allow me to enlighten you.
Okay. He smiles at me, and it's surprisingly genuine.
it can feel simultaneously like floating and sinking. Your heart stutters and you worry about small things, about offending this other person in some way. You wonder if they'll like you, like what you're wearing, or if they would prefer a sandwich to a casserole when you treat them for dinner. You begin to find beauty in all the things that they do. That presence makes you feel comfortable in a way you never thought of before. You try to imagine life without that person and find you cannot. You even consider such a thing as painful, so much so that it feels like it might break your heart.
Claude continues talking, but my mind is already whirling. Though he phrases things in a way that feels unnecessarily dramatic, I feel a tinge of familiarity. The things he's describing, dun dun dun, those are the things that I feel when I am with him!
Dog, dog, dog!
Before I can say anything, we hear the sound of hooves and the both of us turn.
Those are weird dogs.
I can see a procession of dogs, along with the king on his dog. He normally rides
into town.
He normally rides into town like this, but today he's not smiling, and there are way too many knights riding with him. And that is Sir Alcaster. Let us go find a place to stand and watch.
Sir Alcaster also has creepy yellow eyes.
He does.
Like a dog. As you wish.
Claude walks with me into the crowd gathering around the king, and we find a spot to spectate at the very edge, close to the alleyways.
King Generico. I can't remember what his name was. His voice was. Oh, he's got a rose on him as well. Huh.
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember what the voice was. Any ideas?
No, just.
My beloved citizens
that works.
I have come before you today to make an important announcement. Ever since I was given this crown, I guess I wasn't crowned, they just gave the thing to me. I have sworn to live my life for the people and to rule in all fairness, so that our kingdom can enjoy great peace.
The crowd breaks into applause. I stare at the king, an uneasy feeling in my stomach when I notice there is sadness in his eyes, though he is smiling. Then I notice Sir Alcaster appears to be hiding a smile.
Poorly.
I do not like where this is going. The king's speech goes on for long minutes after that, with him detailing the commitments he made, the goals he set, and finally his love for the people. The audience around us claps and cheers, but Claude and I are silent.
Something is not right.
I nod in response.
To this day I keep this promise. I would never break this oath, for it is on the foundation on which I rule.
The audience claps again, but I am silent, watching the king intently.
Unfortunately, the unwelcome news that I bring to you today gives me reason to hand this foundation over to someone else. I have fallen terminally ill.
The king's proclamation is met with shocked and angry chattering from the audience.
Is that why he's wearing black?
Maybe. I cannot hear anything that is being said over the cacophony of voices, but I know that the audience is dissenting. I stiffen as I stare at the king. He is lying. Can tell by the firm set of his jaw and the way his eyes flicker across the crowd faster than they ought to. The king has lied to me so many times before that I can recognise when he does it.
I know that this unfortunate news must come as a shock, but this is an illness for which there is no current cure. As for the question of my successor...
He trails off for a few moments, but I think I see something in his eyes that hints at urgency, but I am not sure why.
Crown Princess Emmeline is unmarried and still too young to rule on her own.
I feel a pang of irritation and confusion. Another lie. Amagalini could rule just fine with the help of Sir Mithros and the others.
After much thought, I have come to the conclusion that our kingdom, which still continues to face danger from the witches, is best put in capable hands of the commander of the Order of Caldera, Sir Alcaster.
What? I cannot hide my shock. The rest of the audience reacts similarly. Their sudden outburst a testament to their confusion.
He's not of royal blood. That's weird. Is this constitutionally valid? It's definitely in the crowd. Is this constitutionally valid? Oh, I don't know. I don't think there's any legal precedent. While I will be providing support and assistance from the sidelines, I cannot in all good grace continue to wear this crown that I'm not currently wearing, when I know I cannot serve my people as they deserve. Simply put, I believe that the witches have gained more power in recent months, and that Sir Alcaster is best suited to deal with these conflicts. The fairy tale curse runs more rampant these days. There have been more reports of incidents involving magic.
The murmuring continues, except now the townsfolk sound panicked. This cannot be true. I do not miss the reluctance in the king's next words.
Sir Alcaster has also suggested a number of remedies to our laws, especially concerning our security and work hours. I believe that Sir Alcaster can better rule this country in these turbulent times. Please show him all the love and loyalty you have shown me. That the bastard.
Claude has a foul expression on his face, and his words feel heavy, even in a low whisper. I know the king. It takes every duty upon himself, and he would never hand his crown to someone else. Once Sir Alcaster comes to stand on the podium, he silences them with a glare.
Citizens of Anglo, I swear to you I will serve you as well as General has. That being said, I also believe some changes will need to be made.
Sir Alcaster continues to speak. He mentions things like curfews for safety, extended work hours, and additional taxes to go towards the knights, but I'm slowly beginning to block out the drone of his voice. What is going on, sir? No, Alcaster must have something to do with something to force the king into this charade. The king stands behind Alcaster with his hands clasped, his eyes alert, but there is a helplessness to them I have never seen before. It isn't long before the crowd's unsettled murmuring becomes agitated whispering. I am stunned when Claude cups his hands to his mouth and starts shouting.
There is only one king! King General!
Claude grips my hand and he starts leading me around the outskirts so people cannot spot him as he continues his shout. The crowd begins to chant along with Claude, and then they draw nearer to the stage where my father and Alcaster are standing. There's only one king, King Gennaro.
There's only one king. Let's go, Heavenly Punk, before this riot gets started properly.
This riot that I started. The crowd is next to the platform now, and the chant carries on.
There's only one king.
Claude pulls me behind him, but my mind is on my father and on his desperate eyes. Hours later, the Martian tavern is chaotic. People are talking over each other, trying to relay the scene they saw in town today, every visitor here talking about what they witnessed. I've been in the corner of this room the entire time, trying to understand everyone, but failing. Delora and Parfait are not here to calm all of this chaos.
Oh, God, do I have to? I can't remember his voice, and I still don't want to do it. It's... Princess, how you been?
I almost jump when I hear Rumpel's voice.
Surprised I can feel when a damsel is in distress, milady. Can I take advantage of your emotional distress in order to get into your pants?
I am not really in the mood for your flirting, Rumpel.
Oh, my apologies. I thought you would have wanted some cheering up. You don't really understand the effect of your flirting, do you, Rumpel? Where's your partner?
He went out of town to survey the situation.
Elmer doesn't do anything around the tavern, but he does a whole lot for you, doesn't he? I suppose that's the least a man in love can do.
I feel myself blush. What is Rumpel going on about, even though he's blatantly said it out loud?
Princess, you're pink.
I am not. My mind feels...
Well, hair is...
It's not even pink, it's more orange.
Yeah, sort of a peach.
Feels all scrambled. This is all Rumpel's fault. Thankfully, Wolf Rumpel can continue talking. The door opens, and Delora walks inside to call all the Martian boarders into the reception room. When I step into the reception room, I'm surprised to see two familiar figures standing beside Parfait.
Well, one of them.
Imalagny and Rod.
Well, Emu there has already been here a few times, so.
Both of them look downtrodden and discouraged. Everyone is noticeably shocked as they step inside. Oh my god, the prince and the princess? Where did they come from?
At the castle, probably, you tit. Ian, what's happening at the palace? Wolf Queen Ophelia. Ophelia up. We need silence in the room, everyone.
Delora raises her voice, effectively causing everyone to pause. She glances at Parfait, who nods and then turns to Rod and Imalagny. Princess Imalagny, would you like to tell everyone what you told Delora and I? The room is unnaturally quiet as Imalagny begins her story. She starts with the events of 1 week ago. In the middle of a family dinner, Alcaster burst in with soldiers and seized her, Rod and Ophelia in front of the king. Sir Alcaster said that if the king didn't hand over his crown, he would kill us. We had no idea a coup would be staged. The three of them were taken down to the prison cells, with Ophelia taken into a separate cell. Sir Fitzgerald helped us to escape, but then, just barely. Fritz, are you openly disobeying your father? I hope that he is safe.
Sorry. Alcaster wanted to kill the king. I'm sure that he still will.
But he has no reason to. The king has already handed over his crown. I speak before even realising. Everyone stares at me, including Rod and Imalagny.
Alcaster is a foul man. I only think he usurped the throne now without violence, because he wants less resistance from the people.
He never spoke up to my father before.
Did you just say...
Oh, that's me.
Oh, sorry.
Did you just say father? Ugh.
It's a long story, Em.
Imalagny looks between Rod and I, her expression confused. You know each other?
We do.
Imalagny looks like she wants to say something, but she remains silent.
Our mother is still inside the palace.
We need to save her somehow, and Sir Fitzgerald. What happened to Fritz?
We don't know. He helped us escape, but we were spotted at the last minute. He told us to run ahead and leave him behind.
We didn't see him again after that, and we couldn't just wait, so Rod brought me here.
Right now, we need to piece together this situation as quickly as we can. Then we need to figure out a way to save the king. Yeah, I knew Alcaster was up to something, but I never thought he'd escalate into this.
Urian, what do you know about this?
God, I weren't stripped of our titles because we disobeyed Alcaster's orders. It's because we overheard Alcaster plotting something. He's trying to tell the king of his plot. We gave him a warning. The king didn't believe us. Not if Alcaster and Mythos whispered in his ears. Like Grandma Wormtongue or something.
The king didn't think Alcaster was possible of such betrayal? He thought we were going to turn him against Alcaster for our own gain?
So Alcaster stripped us of our titles and banished us from palace. Lady Parfait found us, and while we were at my well at a tavern, we also intended to do something about the mess in the palace.
So Alcaster has been planning to do this all this time.
Bum bum bum. Coups take time.
When we part for the night, Delora and Parfait take Rod and Imalagny to a room they can share. It's been decided they'll be harboured here at the Martian, a place that Imalagny apparently knew about but never came to because she wasn't cursed. Well, Rod did say his family knew he was cursed. I noticed Imalagny looking at me many times throughout the night, but she never asked me anything.
Who the fuck are you?
The next few days are a muddled mess. Everyone is busy trying to find out what happened and what can be done to help the king. I'm sweeping the tavern half-heartedly one day, my thoughts on everything but my chores. Everyone's been trying to do something to help out the last few days. I've gone on quite a few trips into town with Claude to search for information. Haven't been able to find much. I feel so useless. I'm finally on my break, so I decide to go into the reception room to rest. When I step inside, I notice Melagni sitting on the couch. She waves me over as soon as she sees me. She hasn't really openly spoken to me since she's been here. Parfait and Delora have been trying to hide her so as not to cause a ruckus in the Martian. Rumours are dangerous now. You're Henry Ponk, right? Yes. Rod told me about your curse. He said that you're the king's blood daughter. I'm really sorry. I'm shocked by Melagni's sudden outburst. What? I didn't mean to, but I took your place. How could I forget my own sister? We're not blood related. That doesn't matter. I would love you regardless.
This is true and was very irritating.
Yes, Melagni was always trying to take me out and do things with me, back when I was still at the palace. I distanced myself from her because I thought the king loved her more than he loved me. I still think maybe he does. We weren't close. I barely spoke to you. Autorod, didn't he tell you that? He did. But perhaps now we can turn over a new leaf.
Slaps her.
Melagni is as stubborn as always. I have more important things to worry about than being her friend. I have to go. I walk off before the conversation can continue.
I have to go before I hit you.
If I hadn't been cursed and remained in the palace, would Sir Alcester have taken me hostage too? I don't know. The game doesn't seem to know. Hours tick by, and as the tavern is emptied for the day, Delora calls everyone together to explain what she and Parfait have pieced together about the situation.
All right, everyone. We've come upon new information. The first is that Alcaster has cracked down on the riots in town. Obviously, anyone seen protesting his rule is thrown in prison.
The king always valued the people's opinions. Alcaster does not want opinions. He only wants to rule with an iron fist.
Our patrols have shown there is an overall more security in the palace and around the town, when they have been charged of keeping people quiet in whatever way they possibly can. As we heard from the prince and princess, things are most turbulent in the palace. The king is still alive, but it is unlikely he will stay that way for very long. Yeah, because
he's got terminal disease.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I was more thinking that since the new ruler is unpopular, the king still actually has the valid claim to the crown, so any resistance can rally around him.
Mm-hmm.
And any surviving descendants of his. One thing is clear. Given Alcaster's motives to take over the kingdom, I doubt he will rest until the king is dead. The king's men have turned against him, and even if there are loyal soldiers still left in the palace, we cannot contact them right now. Rescuing the king and queen will be on us then. We just so happen to have people in this tavern and have a shot at rescuing them. Prince Rod has the key to a secret passage we can use to break into the palace. Also, I'm a fucking witch.
Secret passageway, but only the king and the commander of the knights have a key to that passage. How did they get a copy?
Well, the commander of the knights' son is who will want to help them escape. So,
true.
Just saying. Who's going to join us on this delightful mission?
Urine and Garland both volunteer immediately, followed shortly by Claude and Waltz. I'll go too. The room goes quiet as I step forward and volunteer. Princess, we can't allow you to put yourself in danger. I look at Claude, who's staring at me, shocked. I took up the sword so I could protect those I care about.
Princess, you don't have nearly enough practice.
But I can help. I still have time to learn.
I agree with Parfait, Princess. The palace isn't the place for you to try out your newfound sword skills.
Then you may as well chain me up, because I refuse to stay here while you all go save the king. Princess.
Well, she has been practicing with the rest of us. Don't encourage her, Nguyen. It's not like any of us can stop her anyways. You're right, the princess is quite stubborn.
Claude agrees with Urine, but I can tell he does not like the idea of me going along with them.
If only we had the time to get reinforcements from Kalma's country. Kalma's Can she? Bugantia. How is it possible that a Brigantian citizen can simply ask for reinforcement? Don't question it. Karma is the Grand Prince of Brigantia.
There is some shuffling in the room as everyone turns to gawk at Claude. Rumpel, Anise, Rod, and Emma Lagney all look shocked by this revelation. You're the lost prince!
Lost Prince? Sounds like such a tragedy, doesn't it?
Anise suddenly looks all distressed as she fiddles her thumbs. All this time and I never knew? I'm so sorry, Your Highness.
There's no need for formalities, Anus.
But,
I am the Lost Prince after all. I keep my lineage a secret because right now I'm just a normal commoner. You're a prince. Can you just ask for reinforcements? Even if I did ask for reinforcements, I'm pretty sure they would never come in time. Besides, I can't go back to my kingdom yet.
cannot go back while he is still cursed.
For some reason.
The conversation continues in a more solemn tone. Eventually we start speaking of our plan to enter the palace. When the details are all finalised, I repeat everything myself to make certain that I know what is meant to happen. Waltz will lead us to the palace then, and Urian and Garland will follow right behind him, watching for the most immediate enemies. Oh fuck. Leave it to us.
Yeah, won't deal with any resistance. Won't touch you, princess. Yeah, touch.
And Calm will be watching from the back along with Delora.
A witch and a prince for backup.
Delora smiles wryly. Claude rolls his shoulders.
I'd like to think of us as more the closing act. Though if all goes according to plan, we'll have no need for either the opening or closing act. It will not go to plan.
No.
Yes.
It is a small task force, which is better. The smaller the better. The last thing we want to be is noticed. We decide to meet over again against the course of next week to finalise our plan and carefully survey the situation in town before parting. Claude has taken to training me, Urian and Garland at the same time. Just the other day he had all of us attack him together. Even though I am nowhere near as good as a trained knight, I still managed to hit him once. I feel like things are coming to some sort of conclusion, and yet I still haven't done 3 good deeds. Today we finalised our plans for getting into the palace. We've mapped out where the king and Ophelia must be in the prisons, where the guards might be positioned, and how we plan on sneaking in. I sit down on my bed, and I'm about to lay down when I hear something.
Dog. Hello, love. My, you're red. What are you thinking about me?
I notice he has one hand on his chest tonight, but then he's been doing that more often lately. I notice it during practices and sometimes when I catch his eyes. Is he sick?
Darling?
I shake myself at the sound of Claude's voice. What if I was changing? You could have knocked.
Well, you didn't seem to have a problem when you walked in on me changing without announcing yourself.
That's different. I have boobies. He strolls inside and steps closer to me. He smiles at me mischievously.
Oh, how so?
The boobies.
Cat got your tongue?
Claude shakes his head and his smile softening.
I really didn't mean to come in to disturb you. I just have something important I need to say to you.
Claude kneels in front of me and furrows his eyebrows.
I like you. I wanted to insist you reconsider going to the palace with us. As Parfa and Delora have said many times, it will be dangerous.
Nothing you say is going to change my mind. I want to do what I can to help everyone.
Yes, and that terrifies me.
Terrifies you.
And if your stubbornness leads you to putting your neck out there for someone, I would never forgive myself for your injuries. If you want to help me, stay here where you'll be safe.
I'm not some damsel that needs to be protected.
Henry Ponk, all I want is for you to stay safe, so that when we save your father, you can face him with a smile.
I won't be able to face my father unless I'm one of the people to save him.
Stubborn as always.
Yes, but I think I'd probably do the same in her position.
Yeah.
I sigh, irritation welling up in my stomach as I look at the look on Claude's face. He's calling me stubborn, but he's being stubborn about this.
You are, but what am I?
You said I've improved with my sword fighting.
You have. You've improved so much because of your resilience and drive, and because you're genuinely interested.
It's because I have a good teacher, and because of all those things you mentioned.
Oh, your compliments, gentle music to my ears. Your compliments mean a lot to me, Henry Punk.
My eyes fixate on his soft smile, and the gentle crinkle at his eyes. Our eyes lock, and for a few moments I'm aware of a slight energy between us.
Dog, 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 dog.
I glance away hurriedly. I'm not entirely sure of what would happen if I kept staring at him.
Turn into a dog.
My heart beats unsteadily in my chest.
I better turn into a dog. Earlier today I comforted your sister when she started crying about the things that had happened in the palace.
Emma Lagme? Why he would comfort her?
I saw her crying downstairs in the reception room earlier today without anyone there.
She does seem a bit wet, doesn't she?
She is a rather sweet girl. I keep thinking that the two of you are completely different. You're both strong-willed and stubborn, but she wears her emotions on her sleeve while you keep it all inside of you.
I'm not hiding anything, if that's what you're implying. Mother always told me crying was weak.
Yes, but your mother was an asshole.
And Claude stands up and leans forward. Before I know it, I'm in his arms.
I dropped the plug.
Oh, I thought that was the game. I was wondering what was going on.
I was playing with the plug and I dropped it. Oh. Henry Punk, I'm always here for you. I'll be there for you.
Well,
when the rain starts to pour, I'll be there.
I feel flustered again in my mind, and my mind feels foggy. I can barely comprehend what's in my mind or in my heart.
Mom spaghetti.
Well, thank you, I guess.
Yeah?
I'm sorry that you care about me. No, thank you,
What?
I guess.
You never need to thank me, Henry Punk.
But you've done so much for me. It's not just the sword fighting, it's your patience, your company, your saving me when I needed help.
That's not true. I'm pretty sure I'm the most selfish person in this tavern. All I ever want is things for myself.
I never thought you were selfish, Claude.
Bah!
He puts his hand to my cheek and looks at me solemnly.
Dog. You don't think that me wanting you is...
Dog, 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 dog.
Huh?
Suddenly he steps back with his hand on his chest again, his breathing heavy. I stare at Claude with wide eyes. Claude, are you okay?
I'm...
Dog, 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 dog.
I'm fine. Dog, dog, dog.
He sighs out slowly, but he sounds obviously pained.
Dog.
I'll go get a niece?
No.
Oh.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I swear it's just a spell of dizziness.
But you, He manages a small, tight-lipped smile before he straightens and shakes his head. His hands are visibly shaking.
I must be tired.
But Claude.
Do not tell anyone about this, okay? I don't want them to worry.
Why is he always so stubborn? He's obviously in pain.
Oh, he's handsome, but he's in pain. He has to look after him.
I clench my hands into fists as I frown at him. Why must you always be so secretive? You're keeping something from me, Claude.
I'm sorry, Henry Punk.
Claude abruptly leaves the room, leaving me with my fragmented thoughts.
Dun dun
Rescue!
dun. Shoo.
Shoo, 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 shoo.
Dog, 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 dog. Today I will land another hit on you, Karma. I've got a brick. If you can, darling, I welcome the challenge.
Princess, your side is open. Ow! Oh. My cat hurts. I bring my sword up closer to my side as Garland strikes me. Tonight is the first night I get to use a real sword as opposed to a practice sword.
Oh, good, just before going into combat.
The sound of metal clashing echoes into the night. Is this what real battle feels like? No.
Nope.
I've been practicing under skirmish conditions for the last few days. Since tomorrow is the day we enact our plan, we are doing some last-minute practice.
Remember, fighting back to back is better than doing it alone.
Claude dodges Urian's sword as he speaks, but I notice he seems to be taking special care not to look in my direction, because he'll turn into a dog. He's been fine for the last few days, but I'm not sure when his pain will return. If only he would tell me what was wrong with him.
Every time he feels emotions, he gets pain in his chest and the idea he has to overcome it or some shit.
Maybe.
That's literally how the curse is written.
Is it?
Well, he has to overcome it or some shit. I don't think it's literally... Yes, that is literally how it's written, the curse, in Beauty and the Beast.
All right, you smug fuck. When Claude finally calls end of practice, we're all exhausted.
Dog. Good job, everyone. Good job, everybody. You'll all be fine tomorrow. Meow.
Dog, 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 dog.
Dog.
Garland turns to face me, a soft expression on his face. And if it comes down to it, you're in, I will protect you. Fuck it, he's Scouse now, I can't be asked. Garland looks over his shoulder at Claude. Both of you, that's our jobs as knights.
I'm quite capable of protecting myself.
Hello,
But I
kitty.
do appreciate the offer. It's late. We should go and get some rest.
Yes, sorry, Kitty is
No,
now...
I mean, rest. Rest. in and out. Rest, yeah.
The two knights excuse themselves, leaving me with Claude.
Henry Punk, you should go to bed.
No, I've got the feeling we're going to have a massive conversation now about why you turn into a dog.
Dog. Princess.
I have a feeling I won't sleep much tonight anyway, because I'll know you're a dog.
Be that as it may, you should still try. I'm about to retire for the night as well.
No, talk to me. I want to know why you're a dog.
Why are you, dog? About what?
Why you're a
Why
dog?
is dog?
Claude takes a step back and I stare at his hand absently, moves to his chest. Are you really okay, Claude?
I've been perfectly fine this past week. Nothing bad has happened apart from the hideous pain.
He is lying. He is obviously in pain, or some shit. Why do you have to keep your pain a secret? Why won't you talk to me?
I've told you before that some things are better kept a secret, Princess.
Claude sighs out and then leans forward to set a hand on my head.
Okay, we'll just hold her away in case she goes for him.
Basically. She might.
Henry Punk, promise you'll stay behind me if we're attacked. And if at any point it looks like we may not make it, you're to run as fast as you can back to the Martian.
But that is cowardly.
Henry Punk, do you remember what I said before? Sometimes running is the right thing to do. Never run into an impossible situation, because it literally won't have happened because it's impossible. Instead, live to fight another day. Promise me you'll stay behind me, please, Henry Punk. Give me the peace of mind.
That makes sense because she's a shit swordswoman so far.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Aren't they meant to be... Isn't he meant to be on the rear guard?
Yes. Yes, you're right. Well, I guess if they're caught in a fight, I guess that's
Stay
what...
behind me. You're meant to be at the back. What's wrong with you?
If I will make him feel better before going into this mission, I cannot deny his request. Claude's expression softens as he moves away from me. I'll stay behind you.
Look at your butt. Thank you, Princess. Dog. Let's attempt sleep in preparation for tomorrow.
I'll be honest, I didn't read preparation. I read penetration. When this is all over, I'll pry Claude's secrets out of him and maybe some penis.
His secrets and semen. His secret semen.
It's not that secret, to be honest. Tonight is the night and everyone is just about ready to go. I can't get this feeling of foreboding off my chest.
It's a little creature on a chest. Well, it's a magical world. Anything can happen.
Everything is gathered close to the door and ready to see us off, and everyone except Rumpel suddenly appears like fungus. Anise comes... I don't know why it does, but that's just what he reminds me of. Anise comes up to stand right next to him. What are you two doing here?
Well, no, we came to wish you good luck, just like everyone else here.
And we'll be waiting for you tonight so we can celebrate everyone's return.
Be careful.
Emma Lagney, who has been everywhere with her brother since they came here, is standing right beside him now with a smile. Oh, pray for your safe return. Her smile wavers.
What's the religion like round here, anyway?
I don't know. Doesn't seem to be. It seems to be witches bad, fairies good.
Yeah.
Humans meh.
Then again, it's meant to be sort of real world, so Christian, but not because none of this happened.
Yes.
Just like Christianity.
I'm glad this is your video. Her smile
Christianity did
waves.
happen. Churches.
Christianity definitely is a thing that
definitely happened. Is Christianity real? Well, yeah, there's Christians. It's...
Not what we mean, and you know it. Doesn't matter.
I've got to find some really religious relatives and just kind of do that. Kind of, Christianity. Just kind of. It's like a bait and switch.
Is Christianity real? Well, of course it is. Oh, yes, I can tell it's got churches.
You can tell there's Christians. It's one over there. Hello.
Her smile wavers.
It's a random vicar. Hello.
I can tell she's uncertain.
Hello, I am vicar.
That's how vicars sound, yes.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello, friend.
Hello, friend. How are you, friend? How did you get here?
I am vicar.
Why are you in my house? Hello. That isn't an answer. You're my congregation now.
If anyone has never seen like British TV, this is all fucking crazy.
Yeah. Hello, Dave.
This is you. This bit, creepy boy, is you. Stop and start.
She is the great knights of Caldera, 2 witches and a prince. She'll be fine.
But I noticed you're not getting off your sorry ass to come and help, are you?
What's he going to do? Throw a puppet at him?
Possibly.
Look, I've got a soft toy made.
Well, he's also technically a prince. He should have been training, to catch up his baker boy ways.
That is true. On the other hand, maybe he'd been trying, but it just doesn't stick. So if you need some buns, he's grateful.
Rod's responses are curt as usual, but I cannot help notice the hesitance in his voice. Even though he stares at me without expression, I think I see a tinge of worry in his eyes.
I don't. So there we go. We'll keep the princess safe.
We're not going to let Alcaster get away with what he did to Angèle and its family. Parfait steps forward. She and Delora glance at each other, and I feel as though some secret message bounces between the two of them.
Like a little powerball.
Delora nods ever so slightly before Parfait turns to the rest of us. Her eyes eventually fall on me. You've changed since you've been here, Princess, but your dedication and resolve never wavers. It has always been there, just beneath the surface. Stubbornness or resolve. It is as if Parfait is able to read my thoughts. She smiles as she sets a hand on my shoulder. Kitty, stop being a dick.
Ow!
Your dedication is very much like King Gennaro's. You are proud and honourable, and always take steps in the right direction. That is why I know you'll be back tonight. Just as Rumpel said, we will all be waiting for you. All of you. Stay safe tonight. Why aren't you coming?
Yeah. Why isn't the unbelievably powerful fairy coming?
I nod my head as everyone gathered round begins to repeat their hearty goodbyes. It is Delora who walks away first. We all follow behind.
Well, it doesn't make sense to have one of them stay behind. Guard the shed.
The night has just begun.
Duh.
On our way to the palace gates is uneventful, but we pause some distance from them to take shelter in a nearby alley.
I don't think you get many alleyways next to a palace gate like that, to be honest. I think the nearest you get are side streets full of rich people and heavily armed guards.
True. There are knights everywhere.
Literally everywhere. You can't breathe for them.
Waltz points to what looks like a regular section of the wall.
What wall? Oh no, there is a little bit.
There's a little bit of wall there.
Yeah. I thought it was just a fence. Look, this one just comes out because it's just a fence.
That's what gates are.
Yeah.
Do you not know how to gate everyone?
that's the hidden. No one knows that this section of fence swings inwards. That's the main gate, Waltz. What?
What's a gate?
Everyone knows. Look, there's a hidden door to the tunnels. If we time it right between the Knights patrols, we should be able to make it. Or my signal.
Claude puts a hand on my shoulder and squeezes. It's an abrupt gesture and it doesn't last long, but the motion calms my nerves. We will be fine. Our footsteps echo in the tunnels. Standing before me...
Torches.
Huh?
Get all the torches in the secret tunnel.
Yeah. What do you expect the king to do when he comes down here? Go blind?
I'd just like to leave the light torch when he comes down.
That makes sense.
Otherwise, someone has to keep switching them, and that requires an entire logistical train.
Hang on, at least it's not as bad as the fact that in Tomb Raider all the tombs have brightly lit candles.
And medipacks.
And med packs. And shotgun
Rocket
parts.
launchers. Yeah.
Our footsteps echo in the tunnel. Standing in front of me are Durian and Garland, who are flanking Waltz. Dolores stands beside me and Claude is at my back.
You should be behind him, shouldn't you? He did promise.
Well, maybe he's turned round to face the back.
He's moonwalking the entire way.
It strikes me as the sort, to be fair. This small tunnel makes it seem like we've brought a lot of people.
This way.
We silently follow Waltz's instructions. How is it that Waltz knows about these tunnels?
I've definitely never pocketed the silverware. Just so. I've already taken account of guards and might be positioned based on Prince Rod's information. They should do all right. Go on and all that distractions if needed. Literally shout around, look at me, I'm a distraction.
Princess, leave most of the fighting to us if there's any to be done.
My God, if you're actually doing something like this, right, and you're just on your own, there's no one backing you up, and you shout, look at me, I'm a distraction.
I think I know something that may happen in our campaigns from this point on.